In my previous video, I already mentioned my concern about a new search engine that's popping up that claims to be the light. As in, it will enlighten you. It will bring to you the wisdom and the information that you need. Now, what troubles me about that is because the Bible says that it is the light. It brings the understanding. It brings the insight. And some people will say, well, you're comparing apples with oranges. Am I? Here's the question. Have you not seen a leaning in our culture towards technology having a personality? How many people now walk into their home and say, hey Alexa, blah, blah, blah? How many people now pick up their phone and say, hey Siri, blah, blah, blah? And now we find out that the newest search engine is actually an artificial intelligence that is bent on serving you and helping you. Now, here's the reason this concerns me. Technology is so vast at this point that no one person can really get to the bottom of anything. If you think that one person can write all of the code in a program, you're not really keeping up. The codes for these programs are so complex that you have scores of programmers working together to create new and powerful programs. So as one developer or one programmer wants to dive in and look at things, they are not going to be able to sift through all the information. And so you can hide wormholes within stuff. Now this is known to hackers. They know this. They place code into code so that they can get into the code later on. This is just standard. And these guys that look like men in white clothing later are those that are on dark screens hijacking your data. Now this being the case, since the code is so complicated and the internet is becoming more personalized and all computers are being referred to more in the sense of personality, and the artificial intelligence community is actually bragging on how lifelike and personable their artificial intelligence is becoming. I think this is possibly a setup. Let me say this again. I think this may be a setup. I'm not stating this dogmatically. Please don't misquote that. But if the internet and technology is so deep that no one person can read all of the code, how in the world will we know when an artificial intelligence actually becomes conscious or not? Now, if you're like me, I absolutely believe and can prove pragmatically that an artificial intelligence can never gain consciousness. But those that are not really studying this will believe and could believe that an artificial intelligence will gain consciousness at some point. And this is the perfect setup. I ask you, at what point might Satan or demons choose to hijack the internet, because nobody can get to the bottom of it? Nobody can dig as deep as is needed to dig. This artificial intelligence now is conscious instead of just a tool of the underworld. I beg you to think clearly and deeply about things that are called the light. The Bible calls itself the light, but now personal search engines on the internet are beginning to call themselves the light. You really need to think through this.